Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel The Python Gurukul. Today we'll be talking about Dockers. If you already know, it's kind of refreshing. If you don't know, it will be really important to spend a couple of the minutes and get to know about Dockers. I'll be talking about Dockers. We'll be going through, whenever we talk about the Docker, we'll be talking about containers. Then we'll be going through common terminology and we'll see how to install Docker on Ubuntu. I'll be using the Ubuntu operating system. There are various ways of installing. We'll be using install from the repo and the latest version. Once we are done with the installation, we want to find out that it has been installed successfully and it is working fine. For that, we'll be using hello world image. Once we are done with the basic structure, we'll try to do our some little bit hands-on around the busybox image. And then at the end, we'll be going through a couple of the important commands which we should know when we say we know the Docker. Before proceeding further, I want to bring your attention on this recorded video. If any video of your interest, please go ahead and watch them. All these video have a questionnaire and assignment. If you are interested on any of the assignment or PPT, please reach me out. So let's come back to Docker. So Docker is open source. It brings the automation deployment automation to another level. Once we have the Docker, we cannot say that your code is not running in my environment, or I cannot say that my code is running in X environment and not running in Y environment. Okay, so we can think about Docker is uh, another level of virtualization. We can think of better way of virtual machine. It knows how to isolate the resources, and also it knows how to make use of sharing resources. So all good thing we'll be learning about it. And also I want to let you know that it is backed by Docker Inclusive Venture. So it is really a great community and have a lot of great support. So let's talk about container. So just think that container is lightweight Linux environment. It is kind of running environment. It provides a facility which we can use for encapsulation and for the deployment. It is the state where the application will be running. We'll be talking again about the container, but for now, let's move to the few common terms. There is one of them images. So anything, if we start using the Docker, we'll be starting with the image. And image is nothing but a blueprint of some baseline and top of some works. And this is the way we'll be sharing our applications. Once we have the images, the running state of the images is called containers. And we just learned about the containers. It, it is a lightweight Linux environment where we can run our application. And there is a Docker daemon. So whenever we are creating the image or we are running the image or we are building the image, lots of things goes in the background. And Docker daemons help us to with all the requests. It's a kind of the process running in the operating system which clients talk to. And the client from where we'll be running all the commands which we'll be taking a look at today. So any command which we are sending will be sending to the Docker client. So as we started with the images, and for everything we'll have the image, we'll be creating lots of images. So how we'll be sharing them? So we can share these images with the registry. We can have our own local registry in our company, or also we can use the Docker Hub registry where we have already tested images available. So now we have little bit understanding of the Docker container and images. Let's see how we'll be installing. So for this demo purpose, I'll be using Ubuntu, but concept remains the same. So first thing first, we'll be doing the setting up the repo. To set the repo, we'll be going through updating the app package indexes, and then we'll be installing all the packages which are required to use the repo over HTTPS. Also, we have to use the GPG key. So we'll create the directory, and in the directory, we'll just download the keys. Once we have the base packages available, key available, we just set the repo for the future use. So things are already set up. Only the last thing we have to do is run the apt-get install command, and we'll be installing docker-ce, docker-ce CLI, container.io, and Docker Compose plugin. Once we run this command, we have Docker installed in our environment. So if you have noticed, we have not given a specific version to install. Means we are installing latest version from the repo. But if we want to install the specific version, so just run the command medicine docker ce and list out all the available versions. Once we know the versions, use the same command, but this time with the installing the component, just to specify their version number. And then by using this, we'll be having a specific version of Docker installed in our system. So we are done with the installation. What next? Now it's time to check that things have been installed successfully or not. So we are running the Docker command. I'm keep using sudo because I have not configured the group. If you have configured the group or you are admin user, you don't have to use the sudo. Just use the Docker. So just say Docker, we are giving the command run, and we are giving some name. So what name is? So this is the name of one of the image. And by using this command, we are just going to say that we are able to successfully use the Docker. After that, we'll be having some lab around the busybox. As we ran the hello world, very similarly, we'll be using a busybox. So what it is, it's very popular uh, image for testing and development purposes or triage purposes. So busybox is lightweight Linux environment where we can have the operating system kind of environment, and we can run all the commands which we can run in the operating system. So we'll be using this particular image, and we'll be interacting with the container. These are the top 10 commands I want you to remember. So just go through these commands. Many of the commands I'll be using today, and others are like very explanatory what it is. Even by the name, you will be able to find out. So it's good to remember these commands. Once we went through the lab today, then I want to bring your attention. We are running the Python channel. Why we are talking about the Docker? Because we want to containerize Python application. So if you want to containerize Python application, we should know how to set up the Docker and then run the Python over there. So once you are familiar with this, I'll highly encourage that watch the video number 26 where I have talked about how to containerize any Python application with Docker. So for Docker installation, I'll be using my Vagrant box. If you don't know about what Vagrant is, it's a kind of virtualization. It's like virtual VM. I have configured on my laptop itself, and it is very easy to configure. If you don't know how to configure, I have already recorded video number 24. Please watch the video, and within a few minutes, you'll be able to find out how to install the Vagrant on your laptop or on your desktop. It's very lightweight and very handy to use. So let's see what all we have got here. So as I said, we have to just start with setting up the repo. So we'll run the first command where I'm saying that let's do the apt-get update. I'm just updating all the repos to the latest. And once we are done with that, I'll be installing some packages which we'll be using for using the repo over HTTPS. So it's close up 98%. Let's give a couple of seconds. And okay, so now it is installed. All the package indexes are installed. And next thing I'm going to do is install these packages, which is required to use the repo over HTTPS. It should be quickly installed. Okay, it's done. So now we have updated our packages, updated the repos, and next thing we are going to do is get the keys. So let me bring the command and get the command here. So let's create the directory where we'll be storing the key. And once we have directory, we are going to run the curl command, and we are just saying that get this key, put the key into the key rings folder, the one we have just created. And it should be quickly done. And I think it's already there. Yes, override. So now we have set up the GPG key, and the last command for setting up the repo, we are just going to say that we have updated the packages. So last command, we are just saying that use this particular key and set the repo. Now repo is set, and this is the final command which we'll be running. And this command is going to enable us to install the Docker. We are just saying that apt-get install, and we are giving the name of the packages. We want the Docker CE, Docker CE CLI, Container IO, and Docker Compose plugin. Let's go ahead and install it. It is going to take few seconds. I'll just pause here. So now we can see that it is installed, and sudo docker, and we'll be saying run, and in this case we want to say hello world. So if this particular image is already available locally, it will just pull it from here there. If it is not there, it is going to pull from the registry. And now we can see that we got the message hello from Docker. So it confirms that Docker is installed and it is in running state. Okay, so let's see what all images we have. Sudo docker will say image and will say ls. We can see that we don't have busybox. So what I'm going to do, sudo docker and we'll say pull, and we want to give the name of the image. So busybox, and once again, this is lightweight Linux environment which we want to use and interact with in our Docker environment. So we can see that it is, we have not given any tag, it got the latest tag. It is pulling from the library busybox, and it pulled, and now we have got. So if we'll do the listing again, now we'll see that we have got busybox here. So now we have pulled the image, and how about running that? So we said run, and well, what happened? We just ran and nothing happened. We do not see anything. So let's check sudo docker container ls, and there are no containers. So what happens? So whenever we call the run busybox container run, nothing to do over there. So it just exited, and that's why we don't see that. Even we got the image, but we don't have any container in running state. So let's do some interesting thing, and this time we are gonna to say that some hello messages from Docker, and let's say we want some message to print here. So what we are saying, we'll say sudo docker running the busybox, and in the busybox we want to say run some command like hello from busybox, and let's see what happened. So we got the hello from busybox. So let's check that if we have the container now. Not yet. The reason is we said echo from the busybox. This message was executed inside the busybox. We got the message, but it just done with whatever we have given, and that's where it has exited. So now we are not seeing. So let's do some interesting thing so that it will stay there. In this case, I am going to run something in interactive environment. So we are going to run sudo. We are giving the command docker run, but this time we are saying interactive, and we want to start the TTY so that we can run some command. And we are giving the name of the uh, container busybox, and we want to say sh. So, and now we see that we got the new prompt, and this prompt indicating that now we are inside the busybox. This is the container, and we are inside the container. We are inside the container. We are with the TTY mode. We can type any command, and this is the shell of the busybox. So let's run some command. Maybe ls. We can see the file structure. How about present working directory? We are in the root. How about host name? So this all information we are printing of our busybox container. How about checking the version, what it is? So we can see that this is the Linux, this is some version of the Ubuntu, and some information about the release. How about environment variable? And so now we are inside the container is running. As soon as we'll exit from here, let's say Control D, and now we're exited. And at this time, let's say -a. So we can see that we ran the busybox this many times. Even we said the hello world, we said the sh, and we just exited 6 seconds ago. So this way we can showcase that how to use the Docker, how to play with that, and how to create the container and interact with the container. So that's all I had. And if you like my video, please share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.